So, welcome to the Adult Share Podcast, Tom Paladino.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, very happy to have you here. I'm excited to talk with you about healing, but very specifically, scalar energy.
Yes.
Yeah. So, talk to us a little bit about what this is, why we should know, why we should, let me say it again. Let me say it like this. Why should we be excited about this?
You're right. We should be. This is a new technology. I'm going to speak about scalar energy. It's not electricity, scalar energy. It's the free energy from the sun and the stars.
Mhm.
Now, what does that mean to us? If we can tap into that free energy of the sun and the stars, we will solve so many problems.
Okay.
So I work with scalar energy, scalar light instruments that can harness that energy from the stars. Now, to be clear, this is not electricity. It's a different type of energy. This is a new and emerging branch of physics. And with that, we have now a new and emerging opportunity to gain hold of this technology and to benefit from this technology. So all of my research is predicated upon helping humanity. That's what I want to do with technology, to help humanity.
Wow. How did you stumble upon this? I've heard of scalar energy for many years, but I've never experienced it. But I'm curious, when did you learn about it? All the things. How'd you get here today?
At a very young age, I started to study Tesla. I
Mm,
understood Tesla into the sense he was working with what he called non-physical phenomenon, what he
mhm,
called cosmic rays, cosmic energy, meaning what? The energy of the cosmos. It's not from oil or a wind farm. It's not a nuclear reactor. It's from the cosmos, from the stars.
mhm,
And I developed an understanding of his work, and I said to myself, this is it. Free energy, pollution free, energy that can be grasped, that can be, if you will, gained from any location in the world. This is it. This will solve our problems. So I made a
mhm.
career out of that pursuit of scalar technology, the energy of the stars.
So this is the energy that's in the center of stars, would you
Yes,
say? That it benefits humans.
yes, it's the energy that originates from a star, from the very core, the center of a star. How
Mhm,
does this benefit a human being? Well, without our sun or the stars, there would be no light, no energy in the universe, and there
mhm,
would not be a universe. You
mhm,
need light, you need energy for a universe. Now, some people will use the term life force, L-I-F-E force, life force energy, chi prana,
mhm,
scalar energy, 0 point energy.
mhm.
This is the primary energy that instructs the universe. So we're going back to source. We're going back to the first cause of nature.
Okay. Okay. So how did you have an experience with this that was really positive that caused you to, start wanting to do more research, or how did you, like, what happened that you got so
What
involved
happened?
in this?
Well, I crossed the threshold in 1993. I met a family by the name of Hieronymus family. They're all deceased. They were scalar energy inventors. And I was able to experiment with these Hieronymus scalar energy instruments. And what this family achieved was monumental. To this
Mhm,
day, there's sadly a footnote in history, but it's monumental. They were able to capture, harness scalar energy. Now imagine this, an instrument like the one behind me that can
mhm,
capture the energy of the stars, that can use that energy, interface it with what we call the ether without the need of wires or a grid system or satellites. So with that experience with this family, the Hieronymus family, I developed a process in which I can work with people through their force field. Now, I don't work with people one-on-one. If this is not a biological event, this is energy, a
mhm.
force field in which I can access a person by way of their photographic force field.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay, so I'm going to hold up my photograph for the sake of this conversation. This is my photograph. It's been
Okay.
printed out on a piece of paper. It has energy on it.
Mhm,
Any source of light has a signature. My photograph has my light energy signature. It's
Okay.
obviously not my biological person, it's my representation.
Hmm.
Now, when I work with people, I never work with people in the flesh. I work with their representation, their photographic force field, because I can so easily capture and access and influence their force field on a photograph. And when I work with a photograph, it does not have any biological consequence. This is a
Mm.
chemical process, hence there's no chemical drawback. There's no negative side effects. If
Mhm.
I work with the energy field, a force field on a photograph, nothing can go wrong. It is not a biological process, it is an informational process.
So when you say force field, you're saying energy field or aura,
Yeah,
same thing? Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Aura,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
another, let's use the term aura for a while.
Yeah.
I see you, we're having this Zoom call. I see you in the computer. Obviously, it's not you physically in the computer, it's your energy
Hmm.
field or your force field or your aura. I
Hmm.
see image. Well, likewise, when I work with people, I work with their image or their aura on the photograph. So
Okay.
if Michelle and I can have this conversation through a computer, you're not in my laboratory, I'm not in your office. We're having this through shared images, through an energy transfer. I can see your image in my computer and likewise. Well, why can't you do that with a photograph? You can.
Mm.
And then when you apply it to quantum physics, you can influence the force field on the photograph.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can treat people using their photo. You don't
Yes.
treat people in person.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So what exactly, and I know the answer to this question, I think, before I even ask it, but what exactly are you able to treat?
Okay.
Everything?
Everything.
Yeah,
Because
that's what I thought.
thank you. The energy is from God. The energy is this all encompassing healing. Now, if I
Hmm.
work with energy that's fundamental, that is, if you will, that is the first cause. Only energy is fundamental. The periodic table, the elements on the periodic table are not fundamental. So we're working at the level of cause, not at the level of effect. So with that in mind, when I take a person's photograph and I place it in the instrument, my photograph, my force field, my aura is now experiencing a scalar energy environment. It's not electricity. This force field is so strong, Michelle. If I hold up a light bulb, it will illuminate a light bulb in my hand. So
Okay.
that's a scalar energy force field. And if you will, if my photograph once again is in that environment, in a scalar energy environment, a quantum environment, I feel that in my aura. Again,
Hmm.
it's non-physical, it's information. Now,
Okay.
what does that energy do? It automatically balances my chakras, which are non-physical. It
Hmm.
balances my brain waves. Many people say that this makes them happier. Not working at the chemical level, working
Hmm.
at the informational level, in which we, if you will, supersede time and space. We're no longer encumbered by any physical constraint. Scalar energy allows us to work beyond any time space impediment. So we're working with an informational field that shows no impediment. We can go to the root cause of disease, which is a signature of disease.
Mm.
All disease, all dysfunction has a signature or intelligence. I am saying that scalar energy will correct that dysfunction. Let me repeat that again.
Yeah.
Disease, whether
Hmm.
it's a virus, autoimmune disease, or even cancer, starts as a signature, as some
Hmm.
type of informational problem or some type of dysfunction. I work through a person's photograph to find the disease signature and negate the disease signature in the scalar energy environment, not the electromagnetic environment.
So as you say that, it seems to me like it's almost like a virus on a computer. Like you're
Yes,
looking for that misprogram that's
yes,
within our energy field. Because as I think about scalar energy, I already have scalar energy or I wouldn't be alive within me,
you're right.
correct? So
You're
what you're
right.
doing is you're giving me, is it more energy? Is it a cleaner frequency? What is it that's different about what I'm already pre-existing with?
All of the above. Now consider
Okay.
this. If this energy is so strong, once again, it can illuminate a light. Well, that's
Yeah.
the type of energy now that's going into your brain, into your mind, into your consciousness.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So it is a light session, light
Okay.
energy. And in so doing, we're not again working at the biological level. Now, I accentuate that because once we're working at this fundamental of light, there's no mistake. There's no
Mm,
human reasoning. I
mm-hmm,
don't tell this energy how to operate. There's no
mm-hmm.
human action. It's light and only light, which is fundamental. And when this light enters into our aura, it's a good term, it is self-correcting. So finally, we have quantum health
Mm-hmm.
without the need of human diagnosis, without the need of human conjecture. There is no human conjecture here. The energy is the healing element.
Interesting. So it corrects the, again, quote unquote, computer virus, the bad computer virus,
Yes.
whether it be something like our thinking from depression, let's say, or like you said, an autoimmune disease or even cancer. It
That's
will
correct.
automatically, okay, so how long does something like that take to correct our, I'm going to use the term again, our negative programming or,
All right, not a problem. Let me give a for instance. There is
yeah.
one method in which I can take a photograph of a virus, the
Mhm.
human papilloma virus, match it up to my photograph in the instrument. And in one session, actually in a split second, if I had the signature of human papilloma virus as a disease signature in my quantum field, the energy would eradicate that disease signal instantly. So we are
Mm.
negating disease signatures. We're negating disease dysfunction
Mhm.
simply by matching up, by communicating a photograph, a magnified photograph of human papillomavirus with my photograph. Now you
Got
might
it.
say, how is that possible? Well, it's light, it's energy. Just as we can have this conversation through light, through a computer, why can't I have a conversation with the human papillomavirus in my aura, my force field?
Mm. Okay, so let me ask you this, because I know some other people that work in the quantum field. What they've said to me is um, they're able to go into the quantum field and heal things like cancer, exactly like you're saying, very,
Yes.
very quickly, like boom, done. Because we're
Yeah.
working with energy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
However, I want to hear what you have to say about this. What they've said to me is the quote unquote work that needs to happen after the healing happens is in the thinking, because the person that's had the healing can't logically comprehend that they just had a quantum healing session of some kind, scalar energy or some other quantum session. So they go back to their old thinking and then they actually bring back the signature of the cancer, of the autoimmune, of the fill in the blank. What do you
Yeah.
say about that?
Yeah, that's quite possible. Of course it is. Now, what
Yeah.
is, you mentioned thought or somebody's disposition. What is a thought? What is thinking? It's scalar energy. It's a
Mm-hmm.
scalar wave. So if
Mm-hmm.
this is a machine of consciousness, or this machine can control consciousness of the universe, the life force energy, then our thoughts, our emotions, our consciousness, they're
Mm-hmm.
scalar waves. And
Right.
this gives credence, great credence to people who say, think a positive thought or have a positive day or surround yourself with positive people. Those
Mm-hmm.
are scalar wave events. A good friend, a good conversation will share scalar energy
Mm-hmm.
appropriately. Okay.
Yeah.
Positive thinking is a scalar emanation, it's a scalar wave. So you're absolutely correct. The way people think, the way people feel, they identify this scalar wave activity. All thinking, all emotion is a scalar wave, it's scalar
Mm-hmm.
action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, in great credence to the fact that what we think of, the way we feel, really decides in many ways the outcome of the event.
So you're saying that the scalar wave corrects the thinking? Like, is someone going to walk away and they're not going to have
But
the negative thinking? Or what about
many
their disbelief that it's not really gone?
Many times, yes, to answer that question. I just received a testimony today of a person who said they were on the program for a couple months and that they no longer have depression. Now, to be clear, I am not a psychologist. I don't have, per se, that type of standard medical training. I don't need it. The influence, the animating force is scalar energy. And according to some of our reports, testimonies, people say they're no longer depressed. How is that possible? That depression is a disease signature. That depression is an energy dysfunction. And with the corrective energy, you can correct the disease signature of depression.
Okay. So meaning then their thoughts are changing.
Yes, they have to. Yes. Actually,
Okay.
this person mentioned by way of testimony on our website that they're no longer depressed and that they no longer procrastinate. They seem
Wow.
to have many goals in mind. Now, that's wonderful. How did I do it? I did not. To be very clear, there's no human action. There's no human intervention here. There's no human reasoning. The key to my work is I access the level of consciousness, which is the scalar energy spectrum. This is not electricity. This is the dimension of consciousness.
So how did you capture that? And I see the machine behind you. For those that are not on YouTube with me, there's a machine behind you. How does that machine capture the energy of a star?
That's the key. We're able, with this instrument, it's a scalar energy instrument, to create a standing scalar wave. Now, I learned a great deal from the Hieronymus family, who were the original inventors of this type of energy. So you have to, if you will, realize that this is not electricity, and you have to pursue this new course of physics in which what you will arrive at is the double helix.
Double helix. Okay.
I'm showing the audience a double helix that surmounted a copper pyramid. This was a collapse photograph. That is a standing scalar wave.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Scalar energy is a double helix. Now, what does that remind your audience of?
Yeah.
DNA.
DNA. Yeah, for sure.
So what's my point? Scalar energy, a double helix, is the cause of DNA. In other words, the exact ratio and proportion of a scalar wave, a double helix, this spiral, is the same ratio and proportion of DNA.
Okay.
So the spiral of scalar energy, I theorize, creates our DNA. How important is scalar energy? It is the life force energy that dictates the life molecule. Okay. We are created from scalar waves.
Yes. So you're taking my image, my photograph, and you're putting it near that machine behind you.
Yes.
And my photograph will live there, or is it like an hour a day? How long does it sit?
So 1 hour a day.
1 hour a day.
1 hour a day, I target disease signatures.
Okay.
The second hour a day, I balance the chakras with this energy. Now, if you look at our chakras, they are what? Spinning vortices, just like scalar energy. So if you've ever seen depiction images of a chakra, they're invisible, so you need to see an image.
Yeah.
It spins. Why?
They spin. Hold on, I can't hear you.
Okay, there are vortices of chakras.
Yes.
And scalar energy is a vortex. So the main vortex, the energy of the sun and the stars, the vortex creates and maintains our chakras, which are vortices.
Okay.
The second hour a day, we, if you will, balance the chakras. And then the remaining part of the day, we can take a photo, we devote it to nutrients. We can take a photograph of a nutrient and download it into a person's aura. This is riboflavin. So for 22 hours a day, I take photographs of nutrients that have the energy field of the nutrient. And that aura, that energy field of riboflavin is downloaded into my aura, into my quantum field.
How do you know what you need? How do you know that you need the vitamin B2?
Very good. I don't. The energy knows. That's a
But
great
how do
question.
you know to, so with every person you're working with, you give them all the same kind of
Correct.
protocol, like all the same vitamins, all the same minerals, all the, okay.
It's a it's standardized. And I let the energy, which is the intelligence, the divine intelligence, adjudicate how much energy of riboflavin a person needs. Never before has this been so easy because we've taken out human reasoning. Now, I've got
Mhm.
nothing against the natural sciences, the earth sciences. I have nothing against any scientific viewpoint.
Mhm.
In this science of divine science, human reasoning is not wanted, it is not warranted, it is not needed. The
Mhm.
energy has the intelligence. And you have to be
Okay.
humble. You have to be humble and you have to accept the fact that our aura can make that decision. We don't need to tell this God force energy how to behave.
Right. True. True. So our energy will let's say absorb, for lack of a better word, if I need the vitamin B2 or if I need the magnesium or if I need the potassium, whatever the heck it is,
That's right.
my aura will absorb it
Yes.
into my energy field, which of course then the last place it hits is the physical body. Um, so tell me like a typical quote unquote treatment for somebody. So would somebody that has, let's say, gum disease, right? And another person that has cancer and another person that have depression, would they all have a similar protocol or is it different?
It's standard. It's similar. It's the same. It's identical.
Okay. Okay.
Bear in mind, we don't look at people as far as their genotype, as far as their existing medical condition. None of that's relevant
Okay.
because we're not dealing with a physical person. We're dealing with energy fields. And there's only one consideration. Scalar energy is the field, as the knowledge
Mhm.
field.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Okay.
regardless of whether you have autoimmune disease, cancer, or candida, a scalar energy instrument will look at each disease pattern, each disease signature, and nullify it in the quantum field, which is outside of the human body. I have to
Okay.
express very clearly. I never work with a person, and this
Yes.
cannot possibly take place in a physical body. All of my action has to take place outside in the information field.
Yeah. You know what? Way back when I started my practice 20 some years ago, part of what I did was Reiki and all kinds of energy work with people. And I worked with people that were long distance from all around the world, right? So I had a massage table in my office for the in-person people and for the out of state, out of country. So I would invite their energy field to come onto the
Yes,
table. I would
yes,
balance their chakras. I would do all their energy work, and then I would send their energy field back to the physical body. Is
yes.
this what you're talking about? Same kind of thing.
Absolutely. You
Thank
do
you.
that. You do
Okay.
that in your office. I do that with an instrument by way of a
Okay.
photograph.
Got it.
Now, I'm going to give the audience another.
And I just want to point out for people that are sitting here thinking, well, how in the world did you do that? Like, well, let me just tell you, anyone that's ever worked on me as well, I mean, you can feel it. I can feel it physically if someone, states away is working on me and balancing my chakras. I can feel them going in here. So we are so physically from the physical body, so connected to the energy body. So I
Yes.
would imagine, yeah, that this could absolutely work.
Yep. It
I have
works
to be a, I
because,
have to be a skeptic because I've never tried it.
right.
So I'm going to be a skeptic for all the people listening that are probably skeptics because I need proof. Um, but
Understand.
I do know that my energy work was freaking powerful, and I know that I've received powerful energy work from people all around the world, and I feel it. So I'm picking up what you're laying down, Tom.
Okay. So let me provide this analogy. If you're an architect, you're designing something. Let's say you're an architect.
Yeah.
These are architectural plans. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
An architect, if an architect puts a doorway or a stairwell into the architectural plans, that will be the end result. So as
Yes.
long as the template, as long as the architectural plans are perfect, the building will be perfect.
Yeah.
Now, I never work on the building, the person. I work on the template the architectural plans of the pattern body, of the aura. So this is the new science in which we never work with people or animals. We work with our aura. And if
Yeah.
the aura is correct, then results downstream will be correct.
I recently, where I live in Charlotte, I want to say I just was introduced to someone that does scalar energy like about a year ago, I think it was. And how they do it, I think you go sit in a room, like they look like massage chairs, and you're sitting in a big room. Is that how some people do it?
Yeah, some people do
I'm
that.
I'm thinking that that's what it is, and there's like scalar energy going through the room or something.
Yes,
But
yes.
you have to go there in person. And this guy, I think it was like an hour or so away. I'm like, I can't do that 3 times a week, so I didn't do it. So but there's no difference using an image or using sitting in the
As,
room, basically.
as far as I'm concerned, because anytime I'm close to this instrument, I feel the energy. I don't have to, if you will, necessarily send my photograph. Why do I work with photographs? It's, as you stated, it's simple and it's easy. Why?
Yeah.
I got to get on a plane and visit a clinic. Today, in my lab, I work with 500,000 photographs.
Wow.
We have people from around the world sending us photographs. Some of those photographs are charity work to Africa or India or Asia. But now consider this statement. I can miniaturize a photograph, and I work with 500,000 photographs today. Now, you see what scalar energy can do in the quantum field that you cannot readily do in the electromagnetic field in person.
Okay.
I don't want to work in the electromagnetic force. I want to work with the aura. I want to work with the energy field of scalar energy, which is a different dimension. This dimension transcends time and space. And therefore, people can send me their aura on a photograph, and I can capture the aura on a photograph, which is their light signature, and I can influence their aura. I can influence their photographic signature, never physically touching that person.
I believe it. I do believe that. I mean, you could say someone's name, and there's an energy signature in someone's name, just saying it out loud. That
Yes.
represents the whole being,
Yes.
which again, that's hard for the brain to comprehend, but it's true.
Yes.
We think it's got to be this big physical structure, but in reality, this physical structure that we are actually in the middle of a big energy field that you're talking about. So how long, though, do you work with somebody? Do you work with someone for the rest of their lives? I would imagine we want to continue to get scalar energy. Like, how does that work?
I leave it up to people. We have an open door policy. So we have a program for 30 days at a time. People will sign up. They feel the benefits, they'll continue. They can come and go as they please. It's an open door policy. Why? Everybody's unique. And to be clear, I don't provide any consultation. So how can I possibly provide consultation for 500,000 photographs a day? I can't.
Right.
So to answer your question, we have an open door policy. The greater majority of people will visit us 2 or 3 times a year. They may not sign up for 12 months in a row consecutively, but it works. According to them, it works. And that's why they continue to come back to us.
So what do people say? Like after one session, are people noticing a difference? Typically, does it take 10? Does it take a month? What do people typically report?
Well, let me say this. Everybody that I've ever worked with, let's say they had the Epstein-Barr virus. After I work with them, many of those people 2 or 3 months down the road say they feel better. Many people have a follow-up PCR test for Epstein-Barr. And invariably, those tests show
Gone.
no viral load for Epstein-Barr, no viral load for herpes. Now, this is, say, maybe 4 or 5 months after I work with them. People who've had the HIV virus, after I work with them 5, 6 months down the road, they tell me they feel great. They no longer have symptoms for Epstein-Barr or HIV virus, etc.
So the viruses, though, you're talking about Epstein-Barr, herpes, HIV. These are big viruses. You're saying these viruses are eradicated, like gone, versus no symptoms. Like, is that what you're saying?
Yes, both. And I'll tell you why. If I had the herpes virus, or let me once again refer to human papilloma because we use that example. The human papillomavirus is a signature. It's a disease signature. Working in the quantum field, you can negate a disease signature instantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
either on or off. It either
Yeah.
exists or it's chaos. Yes
Yep.
or no, on or off.
Yep. Yep.
I can ascertain that human papillomavirus is a disease signature, and this instrument will negate the disease signature instantly.
Okay.
Now, the follow-up is people. I can't speak for people. That's why it's anecdotal. I allow people to submit their testimony, but most of those testimonies are very favorable.
Okay. So give me a percentage of people. Do you find that 100% of the people you work with that have cancer, it's gone, or 50% or 20% or 80? Like, what do you find?
I will say, I'll break this down. Everybody I've ever worked with herpes, let's say 5-6 months after they submitted their photograph, they have a follow-up PCR test. Those PCR tests are always negative, no viral load, no viral load.
Okay.
I'm working with a study now with approximately 80 to 90 people with cancer, 80 to 90 people. And after 2 or 3 months, I would say the greater majority say that they're in remission. So as long as I can start working with a person with cancer before, say, wasting disease, cachexia, most of those people say that they're in remission. Now, keep in mind, all of those testimonies are firsthand accounts, and they cannot be proven or disproven by science because there's no method to measure or prove the existence of consciousness, scalar energy.
Yeah.
So we're still on, if you will, these terms and conditions of relying upon a testimony of a person.
Relying on testimony. So, okay. And as far as the cancer patients that you worked with, you're talking all like, stage 1, 2, 3, 4 cancers,
Correct.
all of the above. Yeah.
All of the
And
above.
you say you said the vast majority. What does that mean? 50%? Are we talking close to 100? Like,
I would say most of the people who are in stage 1, 2, 3, all of them are in remission. All of them.
okay.
I'll
Wow.
give you
Okay.
I'll give you a great testimony. About 2 months ago, somebody sent me a photograph of a dog. The dog had a tumor. Now I mentioned a dog because there's no placebo effect. And
Yeah.
we worked with the dog's photograph. I've never met the dog or the master. I worked with the dog's photograph, and scalar energy pinpointed, identified the signature of cancer and negated it. Well, lo and behold, the owner said the dog is fine, the tumor has shrunk, new skin has now appeared, and
Wow.
the dog no longer has a tumor.
Wow. And how long?
2 months.
Wow. Wow. So do you take everyone's picture all at one time in a day?
Yes.
You just pop it around that machine
Yes.
behind you there? Okay.
Today I placed 500,000 photographs in the instrument.
I can't hear you.
Simultaneously. Today
Simultaneous. Okay.
Today I processed 500,000 photographs in the instrument simultaneously.
So
Why? There's no human action or human reasoning. The energy will decide what aura to work.
So what happens if you leave the photos, the images of these people on the machine all day instead of just an hour?
Well, I try not to treat them, say, the photos more than 2 or 3 hours because it's a lot of energy. So I always turn off the instrument after 3 hours.
Because we would feel it, you're saying people would feel it. Yeah.
It's too much energy. It's too much. It's sort of like going out in the sun. A little bit of sun is fine. Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit of food and drink is fine. You don't want to overeat 24 hours a day. You don't want to be in the sun 24 hours a day.
So in general, what do people typically report feeling in even the first or second set? Like right away, do people say, wow, I have more energy, or I'm thirsty, or I feel like I can sleep better? Like, what do people start saying?
In the first week, people say their sinus is clear because we target bacteria, fungi, viruses, and we negate viruses, bacteria, fungi. Within the first week, people say that their sleep is deeper, more meaningful, without interruption. Now, what does that construe? That construes that scalar energy, this divine energy, is some way balance their brain waves, their alpha waves, their beta waves. Within the first week, many people say that they have a greater range of motion. If they had arthritis, their hands are more nimble, have greater dexterity, because we address the arthritis disease signature. I would say
Okay.
that the first week, many people said they have more energy, greater mental clarity, etc.
Okay. So, what about things like food intolerances? Someone that's, let's say, celiac, gluten-free, dairy-free, peanut allergy kind of thing.
We've seen over, now this is a course of months, by way of testimony, some people say that the divine intelligence, scalar energy, will negate a food allergy, such as peanuts or gluten
Mm,
intolerance.
mhm,
I
mm.
cannot, I cannot pinpoint that. I have to allow the energy to negate that disease signature, but we have had favorable results. It's not overnight. By way of testimony, people say after 3 or 4 months, they no longer have a food allergy.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
It
What
is.
about for I'm thinking life force energy. I mean, this is the energy that's in the center of a star, which is in the
Yes,
center of us. You're giving
yes,
me more of that, but
yes.
clean, for lack of a better word, not distorted, not,
Exactly.
poorly programmed. What about aging?
I am 64 years of age. I believe this has halted my aging process. I believe this has slowed down my aging process for
Okay.
all of the above reasons. It probably has lengthened my telomeres. I have proper nutrition. I don't have any ailments. I don't take any pharmaceutical product.
Mhm.
I feel young. I feel strong.
Okay. It sounds like though some of these big issues like cancers, right? Autoimmune, are you saying within maybe 4 to 5 months and people are actually healed from those kinds of things?
From what I've seen so far, we have a new program called Divine Intelligence. We've been at it now for 4 months.
Okay.
And I did a pilot study with at least 80 to 90 people.
Yeah.
And of those people who are reporting to me, they're saying that they no longer have the symptoms of cancer. Now, can that be proved by medical science? No, this is not medical science. This is a
Hmm.
new branch of physics. But
Hmm.
from the early reports, after working with 80 or 90 people with cancer, many of them tell me they're in remission. So that begs the question, why?
Yeah. Are these people on or off chemo or doing anything else or
But
a little
both.
bit of everything?
Some are
Yeah.
on chemo, some are not. Some are just
Okay.
using a sound diet. So there's so many
Okay.
variables. To be clear, there's so many variables when you're working at the chemical level, which is why I don't work at the chemical level. I
Mhm.
work at the level of aura or consciousness, in which there's only one consideration: light, scalar light, and only scalar light.
Okay. Wow. So what what would prevent me from just getting my own scalar machine? Can I buy one of those or do I have to go
Yeah,
through someone
yeah.
that does this as a
They're
profession?
so they're so complicated to invent and to maintain and to understand how to work with these. I've spent
Hmm.
50 years. I've just scratched the surface. So to answer your
Hmm.
question, I don't know of anybody who's selling this type of instrument. My
Hmm.
instrument is unique. I learned this from the Hieronymus family. I've been at this now for 50 years. The Hieronymus family had developed this over 60, 70 years. So there's at least a century of research here. To
Yeah.
answer your question, my instrument is unique. I don't sell. It's too problematic.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Great. Gosh, I'm looking. Is there anything else that you need to tell us? Anything else that I didn't ask you, maybe that you want to share?
Now, they're great questions. And thank you for all the analogies. And thank you for your experience with quantum
Yeah.
healing, in which we're not working with the physical person.
Yeah.
Once we understand, yes, there's a physical person, but there's something above that, the quantum person, the energetic or the information body.
Yeah.
I much prefer to work with the information body, which is the template. Why should I work at the level of effect, when I can work at the template, the level of cause?
Mm, I love that. Okay. Um, so you have a special gift for my audience, you said? Did you say 14 days of this?
15 days of free sessions.
15.
I want to prove to the world that there's merit. I want to prove to the world that there's something here. I don't expect people to understand this on day one. My work is
Okay.
groundbreaking, and nobody's ever repeated my research. So my
Yeah.
website gives away 15 days of free
Okay.
sessions. Scalarlight.com. Anybody in the world can upload, email us your photograph. With your family's permission, you send us your family photographs too. That would be great. Include
Mm,
your pets, and then you decide after 15 days how you feel.
great. Scalar, SCALARLIGHT.com.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Well, this is exciting.
It is.
I,
It
I
is. And
really,
I'll,
really
you know,
appreciate
once,
the,
once again, to inculcate this concept with your audience.
yes.
The electromagnetic spectrum, you're at the low of cause, you're at the chemical level.
Mhm.
That's difficult, people. Why
Yeah.
not proceed? Why not transcend time and space and go to the template, go to the instructions of the universe, which is
Yeah.
the level of cause? It's the difference of driving a car as opposed to pushing a car.
Right.
When I get in a car, I drive the car. I
Mhm.
have fundamental control. I don't push the car as a matter of chemical expression. Why not?
Mm.
For nature, why don't we get in the car and drive the car with
Mhm.
scalar energy, then have to rely upon the chemical consequences of pushing the car?
Got it. That's good. Well, thank you so much today for being on, Tom. I appreciate all the work you're doing in the world. Thank you.
Thank you.